those two guys from work who won't shut up about football, but are pretty damn entertaining? Well, they decided to buy a couple microphones. And with that, we welcome you to the CheesyCorn Sports podcast, where Justin Adams and Martin Chaney wrangle over everything college football and NFL. Bold predictions, hot takes, and live game reactions. This is CheesyCorn Sports.
Well. Hello, everybody. Good morning. It is November the 19th, the day of our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. I'm just kidding. I don't know why I said that. But as you can see, it's me solo, and we are here for our second installment of OnlyFantasy here on CheesyCorn Sports. And hopefully y'all got to join us on Friday. If not, join us this coming Friday, because that was fun. So no Chaney today. Chaney had to work again, because that's what work has done in recent weeks. Take my co-host away from me. So good times, exciting stuff. Amazon, even after they fired me, still continue to screw me over to this day. So, but I digress. We are here, and it's me, and I am happy to bring you, your best fantasy advice. Chaney usually brings me down a little bit, so I'm here to correct that. Now you can listen to me, and I will win your fantasy week, since Martin can't. He's catching strays. He can't even defend himself, but that's how I operate. All right. Well, last week, hopefully everybody had a good fantasy week. If not, drop your pain in the comments. Also, I'll answer start sits, so drop those in the comments as well. I'll answer those as we go. I will get to as many as I can, based on how many we got. I am a one-man army, like I said. So we'll get into the matchups a little bit. I got some starts and sits. I have some rankings, the usual. And we'll, if you want to call in the show, we drop the link in the chat, and you can click that link. We don't need video, just audio. So, all right. With that being said, let's go ahead and get into some of the games here. So, first game, Arizona at Houston. Well, I'm going to get a little bit biased in this game, as everybody knows I am a Texans fan. Well, everybody who usually watches the show knows I am a Texans fan. So a little bit of transparency here. No matter what happens, Texans are probably going to win this game running away, hopefully. A little biased when I say that. But Cardinals have Kyler Murray back. It'll be interesting to see what that offense looks like now. I would say Kyler Murray is probably as we saw last week, he was a good start last week. Just understand that those offensive limitations are what they are. So he's going to be relying on his legs a lot. As always, injuries are an issue with Kyler. So him running the ball a lot can lead to issues. So that's always a risk you take. But he seemed to be a solid start last week. The Texans defense is solid, is good. However, it can have lapses, around the third quarter into the fourth. It seems to be lately where we're having a little bit of a letdown. Come out of the game early with dominating performance in the first half, and sometimes in the third quarter against the Steelers, against the Bengals, it's been getting a little bit away from them. So there's always that to factor in. So from the Houston side, you are starting Tank Dell. In my opinion, Tank Dell is the wide receiver one on the Texans, ahead of Nico Collins, regardless of whether Nico Collins is playing or healthy or not. Week to week, Tank Dell has took over the lead in target volume, and also Tank Dell is being mixed in on not only the passing, but he's been getting carries here and there. So there's a potential he could eventually take on a Deebo Samuel style of role within the Texans offense, at which case that would put him in a very good position to score a lot of points. And I actually have Tank Dell in my top 10 receivers this week, and he is pretty much a locked and loaded top 15 receiver week to week now, which is kind of crazy. Kind of wild the surge that he's had, but he defies all odds. Little guy, 160 pounds. It helps that CJ Stroud has come and taken the league by storm, but the connection that they have is undeniable. CJ Stroud leads the league in deep ball passes. Tank Dell is the deep ball threat. So a lot to like there. Explosive every week, but also consistently getting you points. So outside of that, you got your James Conner. Devin Singletary's a good start this week. Arizona's run defense not good. Defense not good in general. Yep, a lot to like in this game. You're starting Nico. Noah Brown maybe flex, but he's going to take a hit with Nico back. So Noah Brown might be one of those, if it's a deep flex, you can flex him, but maybe wait and see how it plays out with all three of those at receiver. So moving on to Chicago at Detroit. Detroit is an 8-point favorite, which you like, but also I think Chicago can be frisky in this game. Detroit, very, very efficient moving the ball. Offensively, they have been a juggernaut. Amon-Ra St. Brown's doing Amon-Ra St. Brown type of things. Jahmyr Gibbs has surged onto the scene. Jahmyr Gibbs looking fantastic, especially as a fantasy option. He is my RB2 this week. So a lot to like on Detroit fantasy-wise. Fantasy in Detroit is a gold mine. So if you have any of those guys this week, of course, you're firing them all up. On the Chicago side, I do think Justin Fields might be a sneaky play. But outside of that, I mean, your usual suspects with Chicago are going to be around the same rankings they typically are. So what's up, Derek? Appreciate you stopping in as always. All right, Dallas at Carolina. This is going to be a bloodbath. 10.5-point spread. Carolina is not good. Bryce Young's not good. Hold on, let me pull up my Bryce Young. Bryce Young's not good. He's short and he can't throw the ball. So this is going to be a rough game for him and the Panthers, unless Dallas just decides to take a game off, which they do on occasion. But CeeDee Lamb was my wide receiver 1 last week, finished as the wide receiver 1, and he's my wide receiver 2 this week. Dak Prescott, I think, this is going to be one of those games where there's a potential that Dallas could be blowing them out to the point where they let off the gas. So that's the only slight concern. But if they let off the gas, it'll be after CD has 30 fantasy points probably anyways. He is playing out of his mind right now, and it's the slot snaps. It's the same thing that with CeeDee Lamb that every year puts him at an advantage in the slot snaps. And he plays so well out of there. And it's last week, it was insane. The amount of production he put up, and it's not going to slow down. I mean, he's not going to score that amount of points every week, but the connection that they have right now and how he's introduced and intertwined to this offense, CeeDee Lamb is going to be a huge, huge part of this offense going forward. Question here. So do I start Mike Boone, Donovan Peoples-Jones, Cedric Tillman, full PPR? So part of me wants to lean DPJ here. And I think I'm a little bit of Cedric Tillman, but I'm probably going to go DPJ here personally. Without looking more into just the advanced numbers, just going with my gut, DPJ. I like Donovan Peoples-Jones out of these three. It's 32, man. It's crazy. Yeah, but I appreciate the question, Andrew. If you got any more, feel free to drop them in here. A-Chain back. Should he automatically go in the lineup? Yes. In my opinion, yes. He may not. Now, he's not, maybe not be a full workload. They did ask McDaniel about A-Chain and his response to the reporter was, how much money do you have in fantasy? because he was asking about the workload. So, hang on one second. No Mike Boone. Damian Pierce is out. Oh, that's true. Damian Pierce is out. Still, though. For me, it's the running back receiver thing. I prefer, receivers tend to have a higher floor than running backs, but yeah, man, I still think I'm going to go DPJ, but I would not fault you for Mike Boone. Just me with running backs, man. Running backs, they're especially this year, they are so difficult it's a dart throw for anybody this year. That's been the biggest issue is even in your top guys, right? It's been a dart throw at the top 10. Just trying to figure out who is going to be in the top 10 has been a dart throw. And I think that's what's got me away from really liking running backs, especially if I have the opportunity to not flex them. But yeah, Mike Boone might get, depending on how the game script goes, might get a lot of work late, but I think there's going to be a lot of passing to go around. So, and Singletary with the way he was running, it's also going to depend on that, because Singletary, for what it's worth, the Texans' run blocking is not good, and that's what scares me. So the run blocking has been terrible all year. Think about it this way: Singletary had that game last week. However, the Texans had not had a running back go over 100 yards 17 straight games prior to that. So there's a little hesitation for that as well. But I can definitely see you starting him. But DPJ out of those three, in my opinion. But it's very, very close. Now here's a guy who's shit best in the business. That's right. Right here. Not Chaney. I don't know who's behind this Chain Gang Games account, but I appreciate you going after my co-host for me. That's not actually, no, I'm just kidding. That's Chaney. Go over to Chain Gang Games, subscribe, watch 4th and 1. Great series. Appreciate you hopping in here, Chaney. Justin Fields balling out today. Yes, I would have to agree. I think Justin Fields is going to have a great game. Almost put him as my start of the week. So, and I mean, Brock Purdy's my start of the week, but it could have went either way with him, Justin Fields. I think Justin Fields is going to have a good game. DK or Singletary. This brings me back to the old the Texans line running, but I just think Singletary is going to get enough volume, and they're playing against a bad enough team to where Singletary is definitely going to get his points, and it's just so scary with our offensive line to try to anticipate a good performance running the ball, but I think, contrary to what I just said on this one, I might go Singletary, just for the fact that the matchup is what it is. Seahawks are playing the Rams. It's going to be a tightly contested game. It's just in Seattle, there's so much to go around as far as targets and touches goes. So, yeah, I think Nico will be back. I think the Texans offense will be rolling, clicking on all cylinders. So I think you run a higher likelihood of at least getting a touchdown or two with Singletary. So I might go Singletary over DK this week. So several people out on bye right now. So I'm putting running backs in my flex. I have Devin Singletary in there right now. Yeah, I would. I'm good with that. Yeah, if you have. Yeah, put those early guys into your lineup and leave those later guys if you're having lineup questions or need to maybe move guys around in the second half of games. Make sure you have those afternoon guys or those second half of games, the later games. Make sure you have those guys in your flex spots so you can still flip those out with wide receivers or tight ends if need be. So, score predictions for the noon games today. All of them. Sorry about my dog. He's a psycho. Hold on. He's not listening. I don't know what he's doing. He's making funky noises. He's howling. Corey, can you shake your head up and down if you can hear him? Okay, cool. All right, good to know it's vague enough to where it's not going to bother you. Noon games today. So I will run through the games and I'll give predictions on them as I filter back through these. So remind me to, I'll try to remember to actually give predictions on those. Should I start Fields, Purdy, or Howell? Purdy. Purdy is my start of the week. Here, let me just go ahead and bring that up. Well, I'll find it a little bit. I don't know what I did with them. Brock Purdy's my start of the week, so I would definitely go Brock Purdy. Again, Fields is very close, but I think, I trust the offense in San Francisco a lot more than I trust the offense in Chicago. Howell's also in my top 10, but I have Brock Purdy ranked higher. So I think Howell's matchup could be a little bit, tougher, and I don't know if, that's a 9-point spread. I don't know if the Commanders get up big, how much that hurts or helps him. So, but Purdy is ranked higher in those three, but all three of those are good starts this week, in my opinion. So, do we trust Singletary to follow up what he did last week? That was my biggest thing, was the Texans' inconsistent run game. And that's the only thing that worries me, because I know we're riding high off the performance last week. And it is a great matchup. That's the one reason why I'm like, yeah, I'm still good with flexing Singletary and starting Singletary because of that. So just because of the matchup. But as a Texans fan, just being scorned by our run blocking over the last few years, it might even add Singletary to my parlay. Yeah, I'm curious to know what his some of his alternate lines are. That'll be interesting. Okay, so I'll start with Arizona Houston to see predictions, but I think Houston covers the 5.5 for sure. I'm thinking Houston's going to win this. I would say by 7+. I'm just going to say 7. Be a little bit unbiased, but I think Texans are clearly the better team, playing hot. Cardinals coming off a win, but still they are the Arizona Cardinals at the end of the day. So, and our defense might make life hectic on Kyler Murray, our pass rush. Chicago, Detroit. Yeah, Detroit's going to win this. I don't necessarily know if Chicago might backdoor late. An 8-point spread is big, and there's a potential Chicago might backdoor it late, but I'm thinking, and hopefully Chicago can keep this close, because that would play more into the Justin Fields having a good game angle. But Detroit's going to definitely win this one. Dallas at Carolina, yeah, we know how this one's going to go. These spreads are huge so far, by the way. We have a 10.5-point spread, an 8-point spread, a 14-point spread, 13.5-point spread. Like, the lines are crazy today. These are going to be a bunch of blowouts. Hopefully not. Hopefully we can get some parity here. Chargers at Packers. Oh yeah, Carolina. Chuba Hubbard is a sit for me as well. I don't like Chuba Hubbard against Dallas at all. So Chargers at Packers. Chargers, no defense, so expect a lot of points from them. I don't necessarily think you're going to get a lot of points from Green Bay. I actually like the Chargers to cover this 3 easy, but Keenan Allen's doing Keenan Allen things. So obviously firing Keenan Allen up, he should be locked and loaded top 4 receiver this week. I think I have him at 3. And then Green Bay, what is happening at running back with Green Bay? Somebody help me figure this out. Is Aaron Jones the guy, or is A.J. Dillon the guy? Aaron Jones should be getting the majority of the touches. I have Aaron Jones, my RB10 this week. He is better than A.J. Dillon. He got a touchdown, a couple opportunities for more touchdowns the last week. I just couldn't punch it in, and A.J. Dillon would take over. So I like Aaron Jones. Hopefully they can just get him a little bit more involved in the pass game, and hopefully the Packers offense can move the ball, because if they can move the ball, obviously Aaron Jones is going to have a better game. That's been the issue lately with fantasy points on the Packers, is they can't move the ball. So Chargers, you're probably not starting QJ. I'm not starting Quinn Johnson unless it's a deep league and I need to flex. But yeah, outside of that, Justin Herbert is going to have a game today. So if you got him, good for you. Raiders at Dolphins. All right, well, Devon A. Chain's back. It will be interesting to see how they use him most. First off, it'll be interesting to see, as we all know, what his usage is. I think both Miami running backs probably should be ranked in the 13, 14. Like, they should be right there. Wherever you have them ranked, they should be one after the other, just until we see how this is going to play out with A. Chain back. Tyreek Hill, wide receiver 1, no matter what. I feel like each week. Tua, I hope, because there has been moments this year where Tua will go, the Dolphins will have 40 points and Tua has 19 fantasy points because they're handing the ball off a ton and those running backs are getting explosive plays. So hopefully, for the sake of Tua owners, me, a lot of that happens through the air and the touchdowns aren't getting vultured by the running backs, because the problem with the running backs being explosive, they can score from 10, 15 yards out. So I don't know how many times we're actually seeing the Dolphins at the goal line because that offense is so explosive. So, all right, Raiders side of things. What a story. What a story. We talked about that on the Friday episode, so I won't get too much into that. But the Raiders players are bought in. You can tell they are playing hard for this coach. They look the best they've looked all season. How does this affect Josh Jacobs and Davante Adams? I think there's no other way to put it, but of course it's positive. You look at Josh Jacobs' touches over the last 2 weeks, and he's over 50 touches combined over the last 2 weeks, 50 carries at that over the last 2 weeks since he's taken over as coach. So Josh Jacob benefits from this, I think, more than anybody. And then I think Davante Adams is going to have an uptick, but I still think Davante is going to be, I still don't think he's going to be, a wide receiver, a top 10 wide receiver week in and week out, but I think he's comfortably inside the top 15 week in and week out with wide receiver 5, top 5 upside. Just needs to get more touchdowns. And I think with this offense moving the way it will be, I think there's going to be more touchdowns to be had for him as well. So I think we can expect a trend up from Davante, but I think the biggest beneficiary is Josh Jacobs. And this game, though, yeah, keeping up with Miami is going to be tough. So this game, if any, I think Davante might have a coming out party again, since he's been average over the last few weeks and average to not good. But I think this might be a good potential chance for him to break back out and against this Dolphins defense, as they'll be playing from behind. I know the Dolphins defense is actually, it's solid, but I expect the Raiders to be playing from behind, so they're going to be throwing the ball a lot. So interesting matchup here, though. It'll be really interesting to see how this plays out, because Miami does struggle from time to time, but typically with good teams, they have been exposed against good teams this year more so than anybody outside of actually the Chiefs get exposed by bad teams, but you understand. Giants at Commanders, and Sir Samuel Howell leading the Commanders into this game as 9-point favorites. So what a story Sam Howell has been this season, man. Just lighting it up, killing it. Hold on 1 second. Let me see these comments. Catch up here. What Henry being dominant usually as we put A-Chain in his place at the running back. Absolutely. I'm starting A-Chain over Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry right now is slowly losing volume to Tajay. but also at the same time, like it's like he's 30, right? He's knocking on the door of 30. Like I think he may turn 30 in like a couple of months. This is the decline of Derrick Henry that we've been waiting for, that he has, he's a freak of nature, but so somehow he has been able to delay, as a running back, delay the aging process on his legs and his body, because he's built like a dang freak of nature, right? I think we're finally seeing that come out. And we've been anticipating it for the last 3 or 4 years. However, Henry can be propped up by touchdowns. Of course, if they get to the goal line, it's a different story. But that offense, Will Levis came out, lit it up that first game, and then has had 2 weeks that progressively got worse since. So, he had a moment there, but I think at the end of the day, this offense is what it is. It's not very good, and that's always going to limit Henry's upside. So, yep, no problem, Derek. Appreciate you hopping on, man. The Niners spread, yeah, it was, I got it right here, 13.5. At least it's what it was last time I looked. And then, yeah, so we have a 14-point spread, a 13.5-point spread, an 8-point spread, a 9-point spread, 2 8-point spreads. Yeah, man. Hopefully these don't play out like they're supposed to. We're going to have a lot of blowouts. Sam Howell. Yeah, I'm assuming this is just a Sam Howell appreciation post, because I don't know why else you would say Sam Howell, Chaney. Why are you trying to interrupt me? Unless it's to just make Sir Samuel Howell have his own segment on the show, which we should probably actually do. We should actually give him his own segment on the show at this point. Him and Logan Thomas, but they deserve different. One deserves a good spotlight on the show, and the other one deserves nothing. And that is Logan fucking Thomas, because he's a piece of shit. And I could explain more why, but I don't feel like wasting time on Logan Thomas. I've talked enough about him this year. He's dead to me. All right, more into the Giants Commanders. Brian Robinson is my running back start of the week. And it's funny because I had actually had my starts and sits of the week in here, and I can't find them. But yeah, Brian Robinson. I have him in my top 10. I think he's my RB8 this week. So fire up Brian Robinson. Because hang on one second. I got my starts and sits on a notepad. I'm gonna pull that up, since apparently I'm too stupid to put them on this. So, all right, yeah. So my QB start of the week was Purdy. My running back start of the week is Brian Robinson. Just they're going to get up in this game. They're going to use him a lot. The Giants are not very good against the run, so I mean, pretty obvious right there. I'm not necessarily a fan of any Commanders wide receivers. I haven't been all season. But I am a fan of Sam Howell. So not sure who he's going to go to today, but one of them is going to get a lot of volume. One of them is going to have a good game. I don't like Jahan Dotson, though. And I don't like Terry McLaurin. I don't like Logan Thomas. So pick your favorite out of those 3, because I'm not doing it for you. The Giants side of things, Saquon had a decent game last week, so I think we can expect a top 12-ish performance from Saquon. If he can get a touchdown, that will help. But I'm not sure if he's top 10 right now, just based on the volume alone he's getting in this matchup. So and in this matchup. So but Saquon, a fire up RB1, easy. Everybody knows that. Outside of that, good luck figuring out on the Giants wide receivers which one is going to have a game or even produce enough to be fantasy relevant. Right now, there doesn't seem to be anybody who is going to consistently get enough volume, target volume, and touches to be even a flex starter right now. Nobody has separated themselves in this offense completely. So, yeah, Giants are tough for fantasy. Pittsburgh at Cleveland. And this game got a little less interesting with old Deshaun Watson being out. Dorian Thompson-Robinson is apparently who the Cleveland Browns are starting at quarterback. Why? I have no idea. Could not tell you. But that means Amari Cooper, sit that man. That Njoku, I think, me personally, I have Njoku as my start of the week because I think that he's going to be a big part of this check down offense that they're going to be running. And it's playing a tough defense. So I think he's going to go to Njoku a lot. You're starting Deontay Johnson, in my opinion. So I have Deontay Johnson for Pittsburgh as the start of the week, and I don't ever have Deontay Johnson as a start. So take that for what you will. Let me check the comments here just to make sure. Top first and pass. It's all while being most sacked. Yeah, let's go. That's what I'm talking about. See, Sam Howell appreciation. Let's go. Jerome Ford to the moon today. Very possible, but they're playing Pittsburgh, buddy. I don't know if you saw that, but they're playing Pittsburgh, buddy. So, Kenny Smallhands, trash. The wide receivers for Pittsburgh, again, good luck, but I think Deontay Johnson is clearly going to be the guy this week. Running back wise, I like Jaylen Warren. Not at all this week. I had you going for a second there. I don't like Jaylen Warren, Najee this week at all. So yeah, not a lot to like here in fantasy wise for this Pittsburgh Cleveland game. Not at all. But let's all just celebrate Deshaun Watson getting injured, because if anybody deserves to get an injury celebrated, it's Deshaun Watson. Fuck that guy. All right. Tennessee at Jacksonville. Corey in the background, our producer, is a Jags fan. So I will be rooting against Jacksonville right now because they are ahead of us in the rankings. Sorry, Corey. Jags, Titans, though. Jags are probably going to win this game. Tennessee's not good. Jacksonville. What to do, what to think. This offense went from an offense that can support 3 receivers to an offense that can barely support 1. So I don't necessarily think that. I don't think that'll be the case all season. I think maybe one of these games they're going to hit a stride. They're going to find something in the offense. Maybe it'll get into a rhythm. I don't know. But for Calvin Ridley owners, hopefully. Well, the third receiver got arrested, so you don't have to worry about that one right now. I don't think he's playing. So Christian Kirk has been a solid, consistent wide receiver 3 flex guy all season. So Christian Kirk, you can feel comfortable firing him up. Trevor Lawrence, I think you got to start him. I mean, at the end of the day, he's still capable of putting up numbers. So depending on your quarterback situation, but it's really hard to judge this Jacksonville team. ETN, you're firing up. ETN's going to be top 5. I have him as my RB4 this week. So ETN's a definite fire him up guy this week. But Kirk, you're starting. Ridley, you're not. I'm not starting Ridley this week probably. If you do, it's going to be a flex. But if you have better options, do it. Just because Calvin Ridley's such a boomer bust right now, it's hard when he can get you 15 points or he can get you nothing. So, and that's a distinct possibility right now. All right, so I am going to just go through just a couple of housekeeping things here. So first things first, side projects, Chaney, who is normally on the show with me, Martin Chaney, otherwise known as Cheese. Go check out his gaming channel if you're into that at Chain Gang Games. Check out his 4th and 1 series he's got going on right now. He's in the chat, so you can click that, go over to the channel, and you can subscribe there. And then over my side project is Nebraska football at the Voice of College Football. So I do live post games there. I'm the content creator there. And if you're into college football or like Nebraska football in particular, there's a lot to like for everybody. If you like college football, come check it out. If you like Nebraska football, come check it out, because we also have a main channel, Mark Rogers, Voice of College Football, where we go over everything college football. So not just Huskers, a little bit of everything. So won't spend too much time on that. And then as you normally would be able to see, but it's just me hogging the screen at the moment. But let's see if I can do it this way. Is there any way to change this? No. Okay. GG's seasoning. Can I remove myself? Well, then it'll mute. All right, never mind. You can't hear me. All right, ggseasoning.com. I will pull it up here so I can screen share. I'm not very good with screen sharing, and there's all this technology crap, so I'm not good with this stuff. That's what Chaney only does. ggseasoning.com. I'll have Corey drop the info in the chat so you can click the link. But ggseasoning.com. Use code CheesyCorn for 10% off. It is the official seasoning of CheesyCorn Sports. My buddy Matt, friend of the show, his wife, created the seasoning. It's very, very good. I used it yesterday on some ground turkey because I eat a lot of ground turkey, easy to meal prep. But it's excellent. I highly recommend it. And if anybody wants to give it a shot, use CheesyCorn at checkout, so that way you can at least try a bottle out. And then if you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. But give it a shot. It helps him out. It helps us out. So we really appreciate that. So, all right. Without further ado, let's get back into the games. And they're dropping those in the chat for y'all. So he's dropping the links in there for you. Jacksonville's going to win this, unfortunately. Hopefully Tennessee can pull it out, though. Tampa Bay at San Francisco. Well, this is going to be a fantasy, man. San Francisco's fantasy day. Going to be excellent. I almost had Ayuk and Debo in my top 10, and CMC is my RB1, and Brock Purdy is my start of the week. There's a reason why I have that, because Tampa Bay's pass defense defense in general is terrible. Their pass defense is horrendous. So this could be one of those games that gets ugly, and then you may even see some guys come out of this game. But in the meantime, while it's getting there, it's going to be a gold mine. Brock Purdy is, playing well. He had that one bad week, but he's playing well. Ayuk he's Brandon Ayuk. He's a wide receiver one, consistent wide receiver one. Debo tends to be a little bit more hit or miss. However, the upside is there, and if there's any game that you're going to try to take advantage of that upside, it is 100% this game. On the Tampa side, Baker, you can, if you're in dire situation at quarterback, you can start Baker. Rachaad White, you're starting. Rachaad White, you're starting him, but it's tough. This game is going to be very tough. But with how many ways they use him, and especially in PPR, with the targets he gets and stuff like that in the receiving game, he has had 3 touchdowns the last 2 weeks. So take that into account. But regardless, you're starting him this week. San Francisco's just a tough matchup. So don't be surprised if it doesn't go well. But no matter what, I think you have to start Rachaad White as a RB 2-3-ish flex play. At least he needs to be in your flex. So, but anything else from Tampa? Well, Evans, Godwin, Godwin this week, I don't like as much. I have Godwin as my sit of the week. Not a fan of Godwin this week. Yeah, man. I don't know. I don't know why, but I expect, I know why. It's San Francisco's defense, but I still expect Mike Evans to have a decent game. I just think the odd man out is definitely going to be him. It's going to be Godwin. So Evans, I think, has a consistently good game. I think he's going to get a touchdown, maybe, 80 some odd pass yards. So I think he's going to have a solid game. I just think the biggest risk is Chris Godwin. Because I haven't been a Chris Godwin guy all season. It's just, he hasn't been that good. And so Jets at Bills. All right, Bills. What to do with the Bills offense, man? What are they? Who are they? Are they good? Are they not? What happened? Did the Monstars come and steal Josh Allen's abilities? What happened? I don't know, but they're playing the Jets. Jets are tough. And Bills had it's an 8-point spread, man. It's steep with how the Bills have been playing, in my opinion. But yeah, so Buffalo, you got Stephon Diggs, locked and loaded, top 5 wide receiver, Josh Allen. You starting him up always. Hopefully, depending on how this offense looks now with the new offensive coordinator, hopefully James Cook will see more touches and Latavius Murray can go sit his happy ass down, because Latavius Murray's old ass needs to stop taking touches away from James Cook when James Cook is as efficient as he is. I don't understand it, because James Cook, all he does is get yards, and they refuse to give him the ball. He had some fumbling issues last game, I think, to put it lightly. One of them, I don't know what it was. Y'all can tell me if y'all saw this. When James Cook fumbled that ball to himself and picked it back up, it made him run faster. I don't know if y'all saw that, but he was running slower and then dropped the ball, picked it back up, and then he was like a shot out of cannon. So fumbles make James Cook faster. So let's not be too upset at the fumbles. All right, it's proof's in the pudding. Go watch the replay. I would show it, but I'm pretty sure I might get copyright stricken. So, okay. Bills. Anybody else on the Bills? Well, besides, the usual, of course, the tight ends. Bills tight ends, man. Gotta love them. Jets. Breece Hall, fire him up. Breece Hall is very good at football. So, in case you're wondering, Breece Hall is very good at football. I have Breece Hall as my RB7 this week. I'll pull these up. RB7 this week. Garrett Wilson. You got to start Garrett Wilson. Garrett Wilson is, I think, the highest target volume. Correct me if I'm wrong, Chaney. The highest target volume this year of any wide receiver. So, regardless of who it's against, you're firing up Garrett Wilson. Outside of that, Tyler Conklin has been I don't know why I said it like that. Tyler Conklin has proven to actually be a startable tight end. He has consistently gotten target volume in this offense, and I think he's proven enough to be where, if you absolutely need him to start, you can start Tyler Conklin. I think they've built that rapport. I think he's going to get work, and he's going to continue to get work, especially, in the red zone. So he has that upside. So Tyler Conklin, man, don't sleep on him. A lot of people not really paying enough attention to Conklin, in my opinion. I started him last week, and it worked out well. I had no choice. I was forced. My back was against the wall, and I started 4 tight ends last week. That's how bad. And I won. Don't know how. Did it somehow. Yeah, Tyler Conklin, man. If you have an opportunity to get him too, if he's on waivers, pick him up as a depth guy, and maybe he can fill in a flex like he did for me. Seahawks at Rams. I like Darrell Henderson in this game. Seahawks not very good against the run. Darrell Henderson is a sneaky flex play. I almost had him as my running back start of the week, but I went with Brian Robinson instead. So I do like Darrell Henderson a lot this week for the Rams. I like the Rams a lot this week. All the pass catchers, your Cooper Kupps, your Puka Nakuas, you're firing those guys up. I think both of those guys are top 10, top 12. Oh, I think both those guys are top 12. I think Cooper Kupp's top 10. Yeah, you're firing the Rams offense up. I think the Rams offense is going to have a really good game with the return of old golf man. Seahawks Seahawks offense. All right. DK, we got a question earlier about DK. You got Lockett, you got JSN. We'll start with JSN because he is the most difficult guy here. And actually, I meant to pull up his numbers, but JSN, he has moments, right? But just cannot consistently produce in that wide receiver 3 territory. DK really needs to get I think DK needs to get more involved. Lockett is I honestly think JSN should take over the target volume of Lockett. I am not a Lockett fan. And Kenneth Walker is another thing. Kenneth Walker, interesting to see how his is going to play out because you have Charbonnet slowly cutting into Kenneth Walker's volume. And then if you look at Kenneth Walker's week last week, he required a 60-some-odd yard touchdown run to basically save that week because I believe he was at like 5 points before that run, and that run got him up to like 18, and he finished the game at 18. That run was in like the second quarter, I think, maybe the early third, and he still finished at like 18 points. So yeah, Kenneth Walker is still reliant. I mean, remember last year, Kenneth Walker last year was very reliant on the explosive play, right? That was his bread and butter was the explosive play, and which is why this offseason when I was doing my running back rankings on a running back rankings video, I wasn't worried about Charbonnet coming in and taking the reps from Ken Walker because Ken Walker, even last year, was relying on those big plays. He's never been an efficiency guy. He's an explosive guy. So as per usual, you're just dependent on that. However, I don't like Charbonnet's usage going up on top of that because the less opportunities, of course, less opportunities for those explosive plays, less likely he will get them and save you your fantasy week. So I don't think Charbonnet's to the point where you start him yet. But if I can figure out how to work Sleeper too, I can't figure out how to work anything. I'm kind of stupid. I'm just kidding. Don't agree with that. So Jackson Smith and Jigba, let's pull them up here. Sorry, Chaney. I just saw you own them. I think I traded them to you. No, I traded them to somebody and they traded them to you. Last few weeks though, 16 points at Arizona. Arizona not good. 12, 12, and 9. So a couple of weeks in there where he was a flexible low-end wide receiver, 3. But you go from 12 points to 9 points. And the 12s were against Cleveland and Baltimore, right? So you're expecting, I was expecting him to come out of Washington and have a really good game coming off of 2 tough games where he put up consistent points, but he came out and had 9. So his target or his snap percentage, it has been 66% in week 8, 82% week 9, and back to 62 in week 10. So that's why it's hard. It's because a lot of volume to go around in that offense, and there's nothing saying consistently that he will be able to produce at 12 to 15 points. One thing I will say that I like though is yards per target was the highest of the season the last game. It was 10.6. So, and coincidentally, his yards per catch was his highest of the season. Well, second highest of the season at 13.25. Against Arizona, he had a long one that got him up to 15.75. But that big number is 10.6, and that's the yards per target. Yards per target is very, very indicative of fantasy points. Yards per route run, yards per target, those are the things that you want to look at when you're looking at wide receivers' potential production, right? Not their actual production, but go look at those numbers, yards per target, yards per route run. And by nature of the beast, yards per route run matters because if you're running 10-yard routes, you get 10 catches a game. Well, that's 10 catches for 100 yards. If you're running a 3-yard route, you get 10 catches, you get 10 catches for 30 yards. So very, 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 very inconsistent for JSN, which is unfortunate because I love JSN, dude. I love JSN. He was one of my favorite players in college last year. and expect him to get it right. All right. Well, I was talking about with Kenneth Walker. All right, let's look at these snap percentages here, and let me pull this up. Let me figure out. I can pull this up, dude. Okay. I lost my main Kenneth Walker. I'm gonna screen share this so y'all can see it for yourself, and I'm gonna figure out how to screen share right now. Watch this. Present. Share screen. That's right. Okay. And then sleeper. There we go. All right. Let's pull this up. So look at Kenneth Walker's snap percentages. Okay. So 76% week 6, 80% week 7, 41% week 8, 49% week 9, 48% in week 10. And then the carries, right? At 80%, 26 attempts, right? 41 snap percentage, 8 carries, 49, 9, 48, 19. Now, this is the number that I'm talking about last week, right? These don't correlate typically, right? Right here, 63 to 12, right? This normally doesn't work out like this, where you have 48% of the snap share and 19 carries. So 3.32 yards per carry. So let's look at the lack of efficiency there. And this is why Kenneth Walker is very, very tough as a fantasy asset right now, because if you're getting 19 carries, if you're relying on him to get 19 carries on 48% of the snap share, it's not going to be a good day, because that's not going to happen very often. More so, it's going to be around that 8 to 9 carry range. But look at the last 2 week efficiency. You have 1.78 yards per carry in week 9, albeit against Baltimore, 3.32 last week, and that is with the big explosive run in there. So hard to like it a lot, but I think he's a wide receiver. I think he's a running back 2, a decent running back 2, but definitely that floor is there. Also, you don't like to see this target volume, right? Here, 3, 3, 3, and then all of a sudden back down to 2, 2, 2, right? So targets, his highest target total was week 1, and since then he has not seen more than 3 targets. In the last 3 weeks, hasn't seen more than 2. Yards per target, 0.5, 2, 2, 9. Yeah. 32 here, which is interesting. But yeah, that does. I mean, yards per target matters a lot less in running backs. So not a lot to like there from Kenneth Walker. Not a fan of what I've seen lately. So yeah, like I said, too reliant on the big play. So Minnesota at Denver. Denver is really, 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 really interesting because who the hell is Denver? And do they want to play well or not? Russell Wilson might be the worst quarterback with the best numbers. Like, he's bad, but his numbers make him look like he's good. But I'm still not sold. I'm not sold on Denver at all. Minnesota, you got, Captain Josh Dobbs leading the show there. Addison, I like you firing up Jordan Addison this week. Josh Dobbs, I think Josh Dobbs is a solid start if you absolutely need him. Denver, I do like Javonte this week. Not a big fan of Denver receivers though. So Javonte's RB12 for me. But Judy and those guys are still in the middling 20, 25 I got them at. So yeah, pick your poison with that Denver offense. Russell Wilson has proven to be, he could be a fill-in starter, a bye week type of guy, but you don't really want to rely on him. Josh Dobbs, I would prefer to actually have Josh Dobbs if I were you over Russell Wilson, in my opinion, just because, especially in that Minnesota offense, that offense has so much talent and explosiveness, especially if they can get Justin Jefferson back. Unfortunately, he's going to be in the IR another week, or going to be out another week. So we'll wait and see when they're going to get Jefferson back. But I do, Denver's tough defensively, but I think Josh Dobbs can make enough plays like he has I think Josh Dobbs is the QB7 on the year, which is kind of crazy because he only he got like 0.98. Let me pull him up here. He got like 0.98 points week 1 and is still the QB7. If I remember correctly, it was QB7. Let me double check. Yes. Yeah, QB7, number 14 overall. He had 0.98 points week 1, and then last 3 weeks, 24.92, 24.92, 25.12. Just absolutely killing it. No reason to not want to start Dobbs. I think you can comfortably put him in your lineups everywhere. So, all right. If you have any more questions, hop them in there. Let's see what Chaney's talking about. Entire play was a roller coaster of emotions. Oh, talking about the James Cook one. No fun league, can't show gameplay without being attached. Dude, there was a highlight. Fox Sports got on this highlight channel for posting one of their highlights. Garrett Wilson is 33% target share, 40% release, all NFL wide receivers. Appreciate that. Chain Gang Games is my ESPN stats and info, basically. Pull that up, Jamie. That's what I'm going to start saying. Pull it up, Chaney. I hate that Minnesota and Denver game is potential to be the worst or best game of the week. Absolutely. Yeah, I know. I hate Denver, so I'm hoping it turns into the worst game of the week because I hope it turns into a Minnesota bloodbath. Even though I own Russell Wilson in fantasy, do I think it's safe to start A-Chain? Yes, you're starting A-Chain. I have let's see. I have A-Chain. Yeah, I have A-Chain 14. I had him 12 and then I moved him, but I have him 14. So I think he immediately gets thrown back into the rhythm of this offense and necessarily might not have the target or the volume that he had before, but I don't think he has to have volume in this offense. Because his big play ability makes it to where, and I mean, he has proven that his big play ability is enough and consistent enough to be able to make him a consistent starter, unlike Kenneth Walker, where he's relying on it and sometimes doesn't get it. I think A-Chain's almost a guarantee to get, at least a touchdown or an explosive play every week. So, like I said, he may not need that volume. So I'll go through the rest of my starts and sits here. So my start of the week at quarterback is Brock Purdy. Like I mentioned before, Brian Robinson is my running back start of the week. Deontay Johnson's my wide receiver start of the week. And Njoku's my tight end start of the week. And then we're sitting Godwin. We're sitting Trevor Lawrence. Sorry, Corey. We are sitting Calvin Ridley. This is my wide receiver sit of the week. And Evan Ingram. Goff going nuclear today. Yeah, I have Goff. Let's see, where is he at? My tight end or my quarterbacks. So I have Goff as my dude. Why are my rankings? Oh, there they are. QB6. Is that my? I don't even know if that's mine for this week. So I have Lamar. No, it's not. I have Lamar, Tua, CJ Stroud, Josh Allen, Dak Prescott, Jalen Hurts, Brock Purdy at 7. Then Jared Goff at 9. So I have Jared Goff at 9. So I have Sir Samuel Howell at 10, though. So just for what it's worth for the memes. So to go through, Evan Ingram. And then my wide receiver rankings here. So let me paste these in here so I can give y'all my actual rankings like a good host. Oh, here we go. I did put them in here. So Tyreek Hill 1, CeeDee Lamb 2, AJ Brown 3, Keenan Allen 4, Diggs 5, Amon-Ra St. Brown 6, Kupp 7, Ayuk 8, Waddle 9, Tank Dell 10. Tank Dell is cracking my top 10, baby. Why? I mean, he has to at least be in top 15s everywhere. If not, what are you doing? Noah Brown, by the way, I don't know if I'm necessarily starting him unless it's a deep flex play just to see what it looks like with Nico back. Don't know if Noah Brown's going to he's not going to continue to get as much volume as he was. And then you have Tank Dell, who had 14 targets last week and is, again, seeing an uptick in rushes and usage. So he's still carving out more and more of a role in this offense as time goes on, which is kind of scary. So that upside is tremendous for him. But Noah Brown, of course, like if you need a second flex or something like that, I think he can slide in there fine. I think CJ Stroud has built enough rapport with him where he's going to be able to get points. I just don't know if it's going to be what it has been lately, as to be expected. He's been on top of the world lately. So top 10 QBs here. Now I can finally pull them up. So Lamar, Tua, CJ Stroud, Josh Allen, Dak Prescott, Jalen Hurts, Brook Purdy. What's up, Brook? Justin Herbert, Jared Goff, Samuel Howell. I've at this point forgotten that his name is Sam, or that we call him Sam Howell, and he's just Samuel. No, and I emphasize the UL for some reason. So Samuel Howell. Lamar, it's kind of weird that they have Lamar in the MVP conversation. Not weird, but like, for what it's worth, the QB play of his hasn't been exceptional or phenomenal, but I think he has a plus matchup this week. He's going to have a good game. Tua always has the quarterback one upside, and plus matchup this week. CJ Stroud against the Cardinals, easy, self-explanatory there. Josh Allen's Josh Allen, so he's always got to be up here. Dak Prescott against the Panthers. Dak Prescott, I think, is playing out of his mind lately. I don't know when the wheels will fall off. We all know they will fall off eventually because it's Dak Prescott at the end of the day. So hopefully that's not this week, but he is cemented inside my top 5 as it sits right now. Jalen Hurts. It's Jalen Hurts. QB2 on the year. So he's absolutely been tremendous this year. Brook Purdy. His brother Chuba played for Nebraska yesterday and actually played an excellent game. Unfortunately, the defense and special teams sucked, but his little brother Chuba came in and played pretty well. So I expect Brook to continue that. Justin Herbert at 8. Chargers defense again is terrible. So Justin Herbert has to, throw all the yards possible to give his team a chance to win. Jared Goff, as Chaney mentioned earlier, is about to have a crazy good game, hopefully. Oh, Noah Brown's out today? Damn, I even missed that. That's unfortunate. But not unfortunate for Tank Dell owners. Or Nico Collins, which, Chaney, I think you're a Nico Collins owner as well, right? So that could benefit you in a way. And then let me get into my running backs. All right, so top 10 running backs: Christian McCaffrey, Jahmyr Gibbs going nuclear. So everybody who held Jahmyr Gibbs, good job. Austin Eckler, Travis Etienne. Eckler is interesting. Eckler, I think he had 15 points last week, if I remember correctly. Not sure where. I'm not sure if, because he's not been getting a lot of looks this year as we expected coming into the season. 69% of the snap share last week, but a 14 carries, 15 carries, 14 carries. And last week he had an uptick in 19. He has not had touchdowns this year for the most part, but he is up to 3. Like, he's 4 total in the season. Now, mind you, he missed a lot of the season, but 4 total in the season. So he's 3 games with, 3 games without. But that one stretch without was 3 games without a touchdown. So he has corrected that. Target wise, Austin Eckler is doing Austin Eckler things. Apologies for the dogs barking again. 8, 7, and 7, but the yards per carry and the efficiency is where we're having the issue. 1.93 against Chicago, 1.93 yards per carry against Chicago, 3.36 against the Jets, 3.53 against the Lions. So take that for what you will. Not very efficient on the ground, but yards per target inconsistent as well. So 11.75 against Chicago in week 8, 3.29 against the Jets, and almost 7 against Detroit. So it's been sporadic all year. There has been no consistent. It's been anywhere from 5 to 11 and everywhere in between. And then yards per catch, that's been fairly consistent, 13.43, 11.5, and 12. Fantasy points, 23, 21, and 21. Now, the thing with Eckler is the efficiency running the ball is what's getting me, because for some reason, when Josh Kelly runs the ball on this team, when Austin Eckler is healthy, he can run the ball efficiently, right? But Eckler, on the other hand, can't seem to run the ball. And that would create so much more opportunity for him if he could get a little bit better and more efficient with these touches. 15 carries for 29 yards, 14 carries for 47 yards, and 19 carries for 67 yards. If he can clean those up into some more efficient runs, we're going to start seeing Eckler in that 24-25 range. Right now, very, very much risk health-wise, but he is a locked and loaded top 5 easy weekly fantasy play. So ETN, I already mentioned him earlier when I was talking about Jacksonville. ETN's going to feast because ETN's very good. Josh Jigbobs. Bro, I got to start proofreading when I type. Josh Jackbobs is going to what, 26 carries? What do you have, 26 carries last week? Yeah, he is feasting in this new offense, and they are going to keep feeding him the ball in plenty. And hopefully he can kind of, big game last week, but hopefully he can get some efficiency in those touches, get some touchdowns, and because I traded for him. So Tony Pollard at 6. Tony Pollard's an interesting story because he bet on himself this year, and I'm not sure how great it's working out for him, but he is a good fantasy option. Top 10 running back, obviously. Breece Hall is Breece Hall. That's all you need to know. Breece Hall always has RB1 upside each and every week. He is in the Jets offense, though, so that limits him. Regardless, Breece Hall is RB1 upside each and every week. Brian Robinson is a great start this week, matchup-wise. I love it. I think I don't like anybody else on the Reds. Keep going, Reds. The Commanders, except for Sam Howell and Brian Robinson. Outside of that, so that means there's 2 people that are going to get on my rankings. That's Sam Howell and Brian Robinson. The rest of them kick rocks. DeAndre Swift and Aaron Jones, baby. I threw Aaron Jones in here. Eventually, he's got to get it going, right? Come on, Chaney. What's your boy doing? What's your offense doing? Get A.J. Dillon out of the game. Get Aaron Jones some damn touches. Herbert's going to get sacked 12 times, throw 4 picks. Okay. Malibu just went to shut Gunner up and join him. Yeah, no, she went. He was barking out there, so she goes out there to see what's wrong with him. Like, she's like, why is this dog's such a psycho? She's so good, though. She comes right back in here. She takes a nap. Oh, she's back. Yep, exactly. All right, guys. So if y'all have any more questions, go ahead and get them in here. If not, you should give it I forgot to say that because I'm really bad at that. Sorry, Corey. Drop a like or sub to the channel. Drop a like if you like the content. Sub if you like the content. Only if you like the content. And then if you want to check out the Friday episodes, you can go watch our last one to see if that's something you're into. But it really helps us, the fact that y'all like and subscribe and stuff like that. The likes help us get into YouTube's algorithms, the comments, all that helps us. So we really appreciate everybody who's in here each and every week with us, and continues to help us grow the channel. It's like I said, very helpful to us. I put a lot of work in, so we want to provide the best show possible for y'all. So we'd like to see that y'all are enjoying things here. So, and again, you can check out Chaney over on Chain Gang Games. You can click that link there, and you can find me on X over at the _H-Town Husker. And you can see that right here on the screen. And like I said, just put those post notifications on. We're going to be here on Fridays. And And Sundays, again, 2 hours for the games every Sunday, and bringing you the biggest news on Friday and the fantasy stuff on Sunday. So I think that does it for me. Chaney will be back maybe next week unless work calls him in. So hopefully I helped everybody win their fantasy week. And if we get any last minute questions, I'll throw them out there. But hopefully we helped everybody finish their week last week or win their week last week. I won mine with 4 tight ends, so there's no excuse not to. But all right, no questions here. So I am going to sign off. Everybody enjoy the Sunday games. Enjoy your weekend. We'll see how we're going to do things coming up with the Black Friday games or the Thanksgiving games and stuff like that. So stay tuned for any community posts on the channel that we may put out in regards to that, just in case we change any scheduling around. So with that being said, again, enjoy the rest of your Sundays, the day of our Lord and Savior, Jesus H. Christ. And hope y'all have a great week, and we will see y'all on Friday.